Now that should work. Alright, so welcome back. If you were joined before, please find the new link. Hello, hello. Hope everyone's doing well. Still setting up the stream, sorry. Here we go. Alright. Cheers, whoever's watching. I'm drinking my usual spritz salad. The weather doesn't look that good today, but it's quite warm outside. So, nice good drink. I'm gonna be drinking something else later with the cigar, so that's gonna be cool as well. Let me just open my thing here so I can see the comments if there are gonna be any. All right, cool. So again, welcome to this live stream. Happy Saturday to you all. Where do we start today? Oh yeah, I want to address something. Some of you guys asked me if I was selling my watches. You saw them on Chrono 24. I'm actually selling two of them. I'm actually selling one, and the other one is put up for sale, but I'm still not sure if I'm gonna sell it. So I'm selling my Omega Speedmaster. This one. Ooh, almost lost it. This one. So I'm selling it. I got a lot of inquiries, but still a lot of trade offers, to put it that way, and some people are still considering buying it, so it's still here. And I wasn't really in a rush to sell it. And the other one I put up for sale is Baume & Mercier, the one that I really like. So I put it up for sale, but I'm still not sure if I want to sell it. I put it up for sale just to kind of test out the market a bit. And the reason why I did that, I have my eyes set on something new that I'm looking to buy. So to be able to put together the financial construction around it, I would need to sell at least one of these two watches. So that's why they're up for sale, if you're wondering. Not that I don't like them, I just feel like upgrading a bit, and this one it would really hurt to go, but I don't think I'm gonna sell it, to be honest with you. So yeah, there's that. Needed to address that because I got a lot of questions and inquiries about it. Why am I selling my watches? All right, so for this live stream, I promised to my friend Codus from Germany to smoke and review Davidoff Signature No2 cigar. Codus, if you're watching this, hope you have yours so we can smoke it together. So let's talk about it a little bit. Obviously I got mine in the tube. And look at it. What a beautiful, elegant cigar. So let's talk about it. So this cigar was released in 1968, Hello, Mike. Great to see you. 1968. So it was one of the kind of first premium Davidoff cigars, and it was definitely the first premium Davidoff cigar that had a pigtail. See this? So what other brand? Question: what other brand has pigtail on the cap? I'm sure that a lot of you know the answer. It's Trinidad. Trinidad's have pigtail. So they're quite, challenging to wrap, and it doesn't have any function. Obviously, it's just for the show, but it's some kind of like, it shows that you are able to wrap the cigar in multiple ways. That like it's very prestige. So that's why they do it, and it's obviously a signature of a premium brand. So with signature number 2 of Davidoff's, they decided to do that. And yeah, once you cut it, you forgot that you even had it in the first place. What else can we say about this cigar? So it was one of the favorite cigars, if not the favorite cigar, of Zino Davidoff. Davidoff founder and owner. And for all of you folks that are following Sahakians, so Davidoff of London, it's the favorite cigar of Edward Sahakian, the owner of Davidoff London. So pretty cool, right? And it's not usually the Vitola that I would smoke. It's not usually the size and the ring gauge that I would smoke. As you can see, it's quite thin. It's the Vitola is called Panatella. It's 38 in ring gauge and 15.2 centimeters, or I think that's 6 inches in length. So, but very, very elegant cigar. And these days, the thinner cigars, thinner Vitolas are kind of getting trendy again. So, very elegant in the hand, isn't it? The wrapper is actually quite soft, very soft actually. I'm actually quite surprised. It's almost like it's spongy. I don't expect it to be tight on the jaw because I can feel there's some room. And on the nose, very nice tobacco, woody. Yeah, it's gonna be nice. I am obviously having some issues with my gimbal, so give me a second while I fix that. Hope the battery is fine. Otherwise, I don't know why it would drop. But okay. No, not okay. No, not okay. I guess the battery died, which is great, yeah, because now I have to find a way to do this. I'm gonna have to lay the phone right here. Yes. So unprepared. Sorry about that. I'm gonna have to do. wonder what's wrong with this gimbal. The battery should be fine. Well, I'm gonna have to find a solution where to put the phone now without having to go inside the house. Says the battery is fine. Let's see if it's gonna work now. The new iPhones are very heavy, so it could be that it couldn't hold it, or it was leaning on one side. Hope it stands now. All right, let's cut it. Just the pigtail part. Nice. Draw is awesome. The draw is awesome. And let's light it up. I don't think this cigar will last me more than an hour. Even though I'm a slow smoker, not gonna last me more than an hour. Because it's small in ring gauge, so it's probably gonna burn through it quite fast. You see the nice little red circle around? So when you light a cigar, you just want to kind of light around it, not through the middle, because in the middle you just burn the oils, and around it is where the binder and the filler that's used, leaves that are used for the burn, that's where they are. So you just want to burn around the ring. See? And then it will expand. Very smooth so far. What else can I say about the cigar? Yeah, the pigtail I mentioned. Yeah, obviously it's Dominican. Not sure if all the leaves are from Dominican Republic. Didn't check that. But yeah, it's a Dominican blend. So the sun is out also. The information I found about the cigar also is that it should be paired with champagne, which I don't have in the house right now, or some sort of a peated whiskey, which I do have plenty of. So for this occasion specifically, I have the Matsui, which is Japanese whiskey, obviously. And I got it as a present from my colleagues at work when my daughter was born. Already tried it. It's a great whiskey. But I want to show you the color. It's more yellowish than the regular whiskey, which are more kind of brownish in color. And yeah, obviously it's peated, and it has a bit more alcohol than the usual whiskeys, which are around 40. This is 48% of alcohol. It's quite a lot. So I'm gonna pair that with a cigar once I finish my thirsty drink. All right. Cigar is very smooth, very creamy, very soft. It's just soft. As I said, like on the touch, the wrapper was very soft. Seems like it's very flexible though, and yeah, it's the sensation in the mouth and tongue is very soft, very creamy. Earthy notes. Yeah. Predominantly earthy notes. And a bit of wood as well. But very elegant cigar, as you can see. Let's do the one for the thumbnail. There we go. So, a few topics for today. Tonight is the Champions League's final. Real Madrid is playing Borussia Dortmund. I know there's some football fans, European football fans, so Champions League finals is equivalent to what the Super Bowl would be in the US, so quite an important event for all of us football and sports and soccer fans in general. Real Madrid are obviously favorites to win, but as this year, as in any other year, there's always like that team that makes it to the finals that is like a dark horse, and like you never know what can happen. But I still think that Real Madrid has more chances of winning it, not because of the quality in their team necessarily, but mostly because of their experience in playing Champions League and just kind of winning trophies in that competition. So I would say that they're clear favorites. And there's a fun fact actually about that game, which is if there was ever a situation where a team has like a win-win situation, whether they win or lose, it's Dortmund in this game. You know why? Because Real Madrid bought Bellingham this last summer, and Dortmund put a clause in that contract that if Real Madrid wins Champions League, they get an additional 20 million euros. Now, the finalists get, so the winner gets 20 million euros and the loser gets 15 million euros. Or, sorry, I think the winner gets 25 and the loser gets 20. And so if Dortmund wins, they're just gonna win 25 million euros. Obviously, they will win the title as well, the trophy. But if they lose, they will get 40 million euros, which is crazy. So if there was ever a win-win situation for a team that's playing the finals in the Champions League, it's for Dortmund this year. Obviously, the sport motivation kind of should be prevailing, and I have zero doubts that they will play for anything less than the win itself and the trophy. But it's just a funny situation. Very creamy. Wow. Now it's getting kind of smoother, even more smooth than how it started. Very creamy on the nose. The ash just dropped, luckily on the table, but missed the ashtray. Did my workout in the morning, ran about 7 kilometers, and did some push-ups and stuff like that, strengthening shit that I hate to do, but have to do. As you get older, you need to do it more and more if you want to keep up with the younger folk. It's a shame that this cigar, that they don't have it in a bigger shape or vitola. Just so good, so smooth. So yeah, I think the lineups, I think everybody knows what they will be. Not that familiar with Dortmund lineup, but so this is the last game that Marco Reus will ever play for Dortmund, and it's really a shame that they weren't able to win the Bundesliga last year. They needed a win in that last round, and they couldn't get it. And he's gonna retire without winning, I think, ever a title for Dortmund, which is quite sad, because he is that kind of type of guy that sticks with one team throughout his whole career, and I really appreciate those kind of athletes. On the other hand, and that's why I would probably fancy Dortmund to win it, or like them to win it. But on the other side, you have Luka Modric, who is my compatriot, and if he wins it, he's gonna become the only player with 6 Champions League titles. Imagine that. The only player in the history of football with 6 Champions League titles. And it's gonna be Croatian. So I gotta root for that, right? So good. I gotta root for that. But yeah, there are rumblings that he's gonna sign another extension with Real Madrid for another year. So he's gonna be 39 next year, which then gives him an opportunity to win another one. And they're probably gonna buy Mbappe from Paris Saint-Germain, which will definitely allow them another chance. But I still think that they need to kind of reshape or retool their roster. We already know that Toni Kroos is retiring after the Euros, which is another topic that we're gonna get into right now. So yeah, And with that title, Luka Modric has a chance to become the player with the most titles in Real Madrid history, together with Nacho. To be honest, together with Nacho, who has the same number. So, but yeah, Nacho didn't even play in those first few ones that where Luka was winning them like 10 years ago. Like they've been at the club for the last 12 years now. Getting more wood now, more woody notes, not as much earthy, but more woody notes now, and still very creamy and more smooth. Very light in strength. I didn't expect it to be like strong or anything like that. I knew I smoked it before, obviously, but very light in strength. For it's actually, it could actually be a good cigar for beginners, because it allows you a lot of like flavors. It's very smooth, but it's very light in strength. So, and great Vitola for someone who isn't like experienced in smoking and they can't endure hour and a half or 2 hours of smoking. They can smoke through this within an hour. And yeah, for beginners, definitely great cigar, even though they would not be able to appreciate it as much because still need to develop your palate a little bit to really get the most out of it. The price point, I forgot to mention that the price point for of this cigar is, I don't know, these days it's anywhere between 25 and 30 euros per stick, which is not cheap, considering that it's Panatella, so 38 in ring gauge, and it's kind of considered a smaller ring gauge, smaller cigar. Construction wise, I didn't comment that because I don't think you need to comment on cigar construction and quality of Davidoffs, but it's absolutely perfect. The burn line, as you can see, very steady, consistent. The ash is beautiful silver color. Very nice. So other than the Champions League finals, we have Euros coming up in what, 2 weeks? I think the first game is June 14th, and that's gonna be great. New format, I think, this year, with a lot more teams, nations. I think 30 something used to be 24. Then they expanded to 32, I think, if I'm not mistaken. They have still the same amount. No, they have more groups, but the thing is, like, 2 teams from each group advance, and then the 4 best third ranked teams advance as well. So, like, the odds of advancing through the group are kind of pretty high. Let me put this down a little bit. That better? All right, cool. The favorites to win the Euros are, usual suspects. France, I think, they have like probably the best team, the most consistent team, because they already won the World Cup, and then they were the finalists in the last World Cup. But in Euros, they lost last time. So then you have obviously England, which I think is really on pace to finally win something, to finally win Euros. Not necessarily the World Cup yet, but Euros could be their thing. They lost unluckily in the finals 4 years ago or 3 years ago because of pandemic. It was in 2021. But they have a very young and good team, which is actually not that young anymore. Now they're kind of getting more mature and right moving into that space where they could finally be mature enough to win something. You obviously have Germany, who is always a threat, have a good team. Italy, I don't think Italy actually qualified. That was they lost to Ukraine, if I'm not mistaken. No, someone else. They lost to Macedonia. No, someone. They lost to someone in the qualifiers. So they're not gonna be in Euros. Croatia. Gotta speak about my country. Think we have a good team. Not sure how far we can get. I'm hoping at least quarterfinals. We need to go. We need to advance through the group, and then win the 16th of the final, and then we move to the quarterfinals. Which, yeah, I'm thinking we can get there. We have a good team. We're not great, but we are difficult to beat, as established and seen in the last two World Cups, where we were second finalists and the third, the bronze. If we could win it, wow. Portugal also has a great team. They have like a very, very, very wide and good roster. Like they have like 20 players that can play like at any given time, and like they have like all their positions have like multiple people and who can just jump in, and yeah, they have a great team. What else can we talk about today? Well, smoking this cigar. Let's talk about some other sports. Yeah, I follow NBA a lot, also Formula One. So we're approaching NBA Finals. Celtics and Mavericks. Me being 76ers fan, I don't want to see Celtics win anything ever. I think they're the favorites, unfortunately. But I will be wholeheartedly rooting for Luka and the Mavs. Luka is our guy. He's Slovenian. Slovenia is right next to Croatia, and he's spending his summers in Croatia on our coast. He has a place in island of Krk. He's there all the time, and he's a great guy. So definitely rooting for him. I think the Mavs got lucky, to be honest, because Timberwolves eliminated the Nuggets. I think the Timberwolves roster was actually built to beat the Nuggets, but not to actually win it all, which is kind of a concern. They have this like a spot with Gobert. I don't think with him and Karl Anthony Towns, I don't think they can win it all. But there's that young guy named Anthony Edwards who is absolutely becoming one of my favorite players in the league. He's gonna get there. He's gonna win a lot of trophies in his career. He's just so great. His demeanor, he's a bit cocky, arrogant. A lot of people compare him to MJ. Obviously, he needs to kind of he needs a lot more to get in the same sentence, but he has that X factor, if I can put it that way. So I like him a lot. But yeah, they are eliminated now, so I'm gonna be rooting for Luka Magic, Luka Doncic. Can't stand the Celtics. They got all these players for nothing. Derek White, Drew Holiday, they got them for nothing. I don't know how those teams in the league, like, they just give them players like, hey, here's a second round draft pick, have Porzingis. What the fuck? I mean, lost the ash again. See, with smaller vitolas like this one, like with the ring gauge that's like very thin, the ash obviously doesn't hold up too well because obviously it's not that stable. It can't be because it's too thin. But I do like to keep it on because it expands the potential of the cigar. All right, so let me open that whiskey and try that. My glass is here. Obviously, it's a single malt. Let me read what it says for you. Kurayoshi Distillery, so it's from Kurayoshi Distillery, not familiar with it at all, is nestled in the heart of nature close to Mount Daisen and its fresh, soft spring water, located in Tottori, Japan. So I guess that's what the illustration is about. Here's that little mountain, and then it's right around it is probably like that water, that spring water. Not sure if it's a lake or something else, but looks very nice. Nice presentation. They've been around for a while, says since 1910, more than 100 years. Quite cool. Matsui whiskey. See, what I don't like is, look, you don't do that. It needs to have a proper cork. See the color? It's kind of yellowish and more transparent than what you're used to seeing with Scotch and Irish whiskies and even American ones. Wow. you could actually notice the alcohol percentage difference from 40 to almost 50. I wish I had I wish I had some water here so I can kind of put a few drops in it to kind of expand and loosen up a little bit. But it is very peated. That's probably why they are recommending it to pair with this cigar, because The cigar is very smooth, very light, very elegant, and what you want to do when you're smoking that kind of cigar is we want to drink something that kind of completely the opposite, that's kind of giving it like the counterbalance, and it's usually how they pair things. You see how when I do this, like on the sides, like these drops remain right here? That's alcohol. That means it has a lot of alcohol. Yeah, after a sip of the whiskey, the cigar, like, I don't know if it's possible, but it gets even more smoother, and that's probably because it kind of kills a lot of what it can offer. So, not sure I like that pairing, to be honest. But this signature number two is more for like a casual morning after breakfast with coffee. That would be my preference, with coffee, or like after lunch. Definitely not for after dinner. Like after dinner with a whiskey, I usually prefer something like stronger, like a stronger cigar, like a really, robust robusto. And it would mostly be Partagas or even Coibas, or I don't know, Ramon Ayones, definitely. Those are my favorites. Oh, seems it went out. That's interesting. Did I neglect it? Oh well, I'm gonna relight it. The good thing about using the front camera is I can see where I need to, relight it. So I'm entering the middle third now, so let's see how it evolves a little bit. It should. It's not a flat cigar. It's not like, even though it's like a small ring gauge, but it does have some complexity in it. Just so elegant and timeless. Actually, it's one of the oldest blends from Davidoff. It's their classic. It's their Monte Cristo number two. It's their Cohiba Silio 4 or 6 or Robusto or now I'm getting a little bit of a sweetness in it. On the retrohale, there's also some like almost like a floral notes, and on the palate it does provide a bit of a sweetness. So yeah, NBA Finals. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to that. And I'm hoping that the Mavs win. I think that actually for the Celtics, they didn't have any real competition in the Eastern Conference this year. My Sixers, they were plagued with injuries. Like we know that our MVP didn't play most of the season, and he definitely had an MVP season up until when he got injured again and got that knee surgery again. Um, the Bucks, they played they played the playoffs without their MVP, without Giannis, so lost the Pacers. And that's really it, to be honest. I never considered Pacers, who got to Eastern Conference Finals, to be the real threat. I think they were surprised by themselves that they even got that far, because I don't think they were built to win it at all. They have a really young team, like a very offense-minded system, run and gun type of basketball, which I enjoy. I enjoyed it during the playoffs more than in the regular season, because in the regular seasons they would have the games with like 140, 150 points. That's like, do you even play defense like at all, or just shoot as soon as you cross the court? So I don't think they were even built, or they expected even to get this far. The Knicks, they're another story. So they're completely the opposite of what the Pacers are doing. They have like very defense-minded coach in Thibodeau. Fuck you. Sorry. Again, the same situation with my stand. Let me fix it. So yeah, the Knicks, what I don't like about them is obviously because they beat my Sixers in the first round. I didn't appreciate that at all. But what I also don't like is that how they won. They were just like, they had like ton of offensive rebounds, and but to me they were, most of them were like over the back fouls, things like that. They were grabbing pulling the jersey, like, and the criteria was not the same. Like the refereeing was absolute terrible. I don't want to say it's been rigged, but it was definitely going in favor of Knicks, which I hated. And then with all that physical basketball that they were playing in the first round, and then again in the Pacers round, they started getting injured. Like Josh Hart played like tons of minutes. Like I think he had like 3.5 games in a row without getting subbed out. So that's crazy. Like you can't really like keep it up. So smooth. You know what? You could actually, like, if you had like a full afternoon off, like 4 hours, you could actually smoke 2 or 3 of those in a row without like. That's how smooth it is, and light as well. Obviously, you wouldn't be able to pair it with whiskey then, because you would get hammered, but it's a great cigar. Great cigar. Goddess, not seeing you here, but hopefully you'll be able to watch the stream later or the replay. As usual, I'm gonna cut out the cigar parts, and then I'm gonna upload it as a video of a cigar review of this one, and then I'm still gonna keep the live the replay of the live stream under the live section, so everyone will be able to see it. What other sports do I follow? Formula One, obviously. Big Ferrari fan. Wasn't so fun last decade or so, more than a decade, with Mercedes dominance and now the Red Bull dominance. Yeah, but this season we are seeing some more equal opportunities for teams like McLaren, who was obviously able to build a good car with some of their additions after first few races. Now they are maybe even a bigger threat to Red Bull than Ferrari is. But I'm quite happy for, or very happy for my guy, Charles Leclerc, that he was able to finally win his home race in Monaco, in Monte Carlo. You could see that it meant so much to him, and I'm very happy for him. It's almost like, you know, Senna winning the Brazilian Grand Prix. And yeah, by the way, this year it's the 30th anniversary of the tragic accident and the death of Ayrton Senna in Imola. Every now and then I kind of go to the YouTube and just watch the commentary and the kind of different, you know, opinions of the accident and how it happened, why it happened. I don't want to talk it about too much because I don't want to get depressed by it, but I'm pretty positive, even though it wasn't confirmed officially by anyone, but it's the word around that's been going on is that his steering column just broke under the heavy, you know, the bumps on the track, and he actually asked for his steering position to be adjusted a little bit. So what they did was they cut it out, and then they added that little part that they kind of molded again together. So that probably kind of broke at some point in the second lap under those bumps in Tamburello corner. And I think a lot of, you know, people like Michael Schumacher, who was right behind him, that's what he also said and witnessed. So it's probably what happened. You always wonder, what if? It's a shame. But I am a Ferrari fan because of Michael Schumacher, however you want to pronounce it. Started following Formula One in mid 90s together with my dad, and yeah, that's when Michael won his first few championships and then went to Ferrari, and then we had like really dry patch for a while, and then finally the dominance that he and the team deserved. That being said, we all know that from the next season, Lewis Hamilton is going to be driving for Ferrari, and he also has 7 titles, the same as Schumacher. Now, how do I feel about that? I don't care. Like, Ferrari is my team and always will be, and I'm always going to be rooting for Ferrari drivers. I didn't like Alonso, but then when he was at Ferrari, I was rooting for him. Same for Sebastian Vettel. But for Lewis, I don't want him to win any more titles in his career, especially not with Ferrari. I got my number one driver. It's Charles Leclerc right now, and I'm going to be rooting for him. Cool for Hamilton to join Ferrari. It's probably the best marketing move he could ever do. But if he was to win another title, then everybody would just say he is the GOAT, he is the greatest of all time, just because he has 8 titles and Michael has 7. Which, regardless, I would not agree with. I just don't see it that way, because that kind of dominance, that kind of car that he had with Mercedes, and like there was no real competition. I just don't think that it's a real representation of his. Don't get me wrong, he's top 3 probably of all greatest of all time, or top 5, whatever. But still, if he was to drive in a different era, I don't think he would be. I don't think he would even sniff 3 titles. That's my opinion. You may agree or disagree with it, but that's my opinion. It's just a different era. Same for Max. Like, his car in the last 3 years was absolutely dominant. Like, it's ridiculous how no competition he has. But there's one fact. At least he was able to beat his own teammate all the time. Now, you could argue that their car was built more towards kind of his driving style, which is probably true. And yeah, Perez just couldn't keep the consistency levels to be a real threat. On Lewis, he got beaten by Rosberg. So, what does that tell you? If he's really the GOAT, he can't be beaten by Nico Rosberg. Sorry. Michael was also dominant against all of his teammates. What I would like to see, though, is I would like to see Alonso get a real shot with a contender, just to kind of see if he is still really like at the top of his game, or it's just like just driving for the sake of it, for the fun, and just showing these kids a few tricks. But I would like to see if he really still has it. And yeah, but I'm definitely hoping for a more interesting season this year. Last few years were just bad, unwatchable. Last year was unwatchable. I'm going through the middle third of the cigar, and I'm speaking about sports. That tells you that there hasn't been a lot of it didn't evolve as much as I maybe expected it to, but nothing negative, nothing against it. Still great cigar, very smooth. And as you can see, like I'm not really smoking it that fast because I'm trying to extend this whole experience, but yeah. Trying to see if I'm getting anything new. No, it's just, yeah, that sweetness, it's still there. Creaminess the whole time. The whole time it's very creamy and soft. Just soft. It's probably like the softest cigar that I ever had. Very enjoyable. Summer afternoon cigar or after morning coffee cigar. You probably don't even need to smoke it on the full stomach. And there it goes again. You probably don't have to smoke it on the full stomach because it's light. It's light. It doesn't have that like roughness or nicotine kick. There we go. How fun is this? Please don't drop again. Gonna have to check what's wrong with this gimbal. Yeah, with this whiskey, it's pairing nicely. I can say. The whiskey is nice in its own. It's not what I would typically drink because it's just a bit too alcoholic, too much alcohol. I don't like that. I mean, I usually like, even with regular whiskey that has 40% of alcohol, I usually put a few drops of water in it just to expand its flavors and not be that rough on the palate. But let alone with this one. But I can say it's really good. And actually, it has some sort of award here, which is a World Spirits competition in 2020 by the Tasting Alliance. Won the gold medal. Go figure. Go figure. But like with any cigars, with any drinks, it's all about the personal taste and the personal preferences. So whatever you like, you like. Just so creamy also still. Just good, just good. Just so good and just so smooth. Too shame that the ash can't stick for more than 1 centimeter. What can you do? So anyone else in the chat besides Mike? Not sure if Mike is still around. one interesting thing, I didn't notice it before, and I don't know what it means, but those bands, they have little letters. Not sure if you're going to be able to see. The one on your right side, or is it your right side, has the letter H, and the other one has the letter P. I wonder what that stands for. Never saw it before. So yeah, as you could notice, today I'm at home, even though we had an extended weekend. Thursday was actually two holidays. It was a bank holiday, and then it was I don't even know how to say it in English, but it was like a religious holiday, one of the religious holidays. So yeah, it was a day off, and then everybody took the Friday off as well, so they could extend their weekends. And most of people just went to the coast, which is what we Croatians like to do whenever we had an extended weekend, just go to the coast. And especially during this time around the year, when it's getting very warm and sunny, and it's almost like a tourist season begins, and we're in June, so June is the month where everything starts over here. And yeah, I'm also going to be going on holiday in 2 weeks' time. I'm going to be going to the island of Brač, to some resort for kids, because now I apparently go to kids resorts. But still not gonna prevent me for bringing a few smokes with me and, doing my thing. Maybe I do another live stream or something else there. If anything, I'm definitely gonna be doing some new cigar reviews. Got some new cigars that I wanted to show you. I got San Cristobal Regional Edition Cuba, Exclusivo Cuba. Looking forward to smoking that one. San Cristobal is one of my favorite brands, Cuban brands. And then in August, early August, we're going to Spain. We're going to Palma de Mallorca. Never been there, so looking forward to that as well. Some changes in the cigar. So as I'm entering the final third, almost like I'm getting some sort of a little bit of a spiciness on the tongue. It's not the heat. So a lot of times people confuse heat of the cigar with spiciness. They say like, oh, it's very spicy, it's too strong. You need to be able to separate those. And usually it comes in the final third, because that's when the cigar gets heated. And especially it's going to happen with the smaller ring gauge cigars, like this one, for example. So you're not gonna get a lot of heat with the cigars that have a bigger ring gauge and that are also long, because the heat that goes through it, it just takes more time to go through it, and since it's big and ring gauge, it's just not gonna be able to get all. It absorbs a lot of heat, to put it that way. This one, it really can't. When you approach the final third, it's just thin, and when you draw, it's just gonna be very hot very fast. But this one is not, and the reason is because I'm smoking it with a slow pace. So the spiciness that I'm getting is not from the heat, and it's not strengthy. It's not from the strength. So let me see if it's really what I'm experiencing. A little bit, not too much. A little bit. Yeah. Almost like, yeah. To be honest, I'm really reaching for it. It's not that spicy. It's not getting there. It's not gonna get there. We have Michael. Hey Mike, how are you? Had a variety of cigars last weekend since it was a holiday in America. Oh yeah, you had it was labor holiday, wasn't it? Had a new Vegueros Centro Gordo and Cohiba Robusto and CIO America. Not familiar. I know about the last one. Not familiar with it. Never smoked it. But Cohiba Robusto, good choice. I'm glad that you were able to get it in the U.S. Because I know that in the U.S. you still have the embargo and it's not really possible to get Cuban cigars. But you probably have your sources, so great for you. And then Vegueros Centro Gordo. Haven't tried it before, and usually I'm not a fan of Vegueros. I don't know why. I had a few of them, and they just seem a bit too rough and not balanced, not really balanced a lot. So a lot of people like them though, but I don't. They're not my personal favorite. Yeah. How did you like them? Were they good? Vegueros? Cohiba, I assume, was great for you. Can't go wrong with that. As long as it was in a good shape, construction-wise, and you didn't have any issues with it. But it's a classic. Never can never go wrong with that. The Centro Gordo was the strongest cigar I ever smoked. Was it? Yeah, they are on the stronger side, definitely. That's probably one of the reasons why I don't like them quite a lot. 23 box date, yeah, no age. Yeah, Cuban cigars, they just need age. They need, at least, depends on what you are smoking, they desperately need age. There's a cigar that quite surprisingly doesn't need age, and you can smoke it right out of the box, and it's the new release Ramon Allones 3, number 3. So that's the new cigar, and I smoked, it's probably the cigar that I smoked the most this year, and it's been released this year, and like straight out of the box, it's absolutely great. And it's very surprising, even my guys where I'm buying my cigars, like that are the experts in cigars and everything, like they're saying like we didn't expect this to happen, because usually you need to age them, especially those Cubans like Ramon Allones, like Partagas, like Montecristos, like Bolivars, that are usually like stronger and like rougher. They need more aging just to kind of get smoother, for it to get balanced more. So yeah, they need at least 6 months, but even that could be like too small, and you need a year probably. Some vendors I see have some vendors I see have the Ramona Jones number 3 in a box of 10, but I have literally no room in my humidor right now. So when I smoke some more cigars, I'll get a box. Once I smoke some more cigars, I'll get a box. Yep. Yeah. That's a good issue to have no room in the humidor, because that either tells you that you need a new humidor or that you need to smoke more, right? But yeah, get one stick of Ramona Jones just to try it out, and then if you like it, get a box. But for me, I mean, right now my top 3 brands, and you guys know that I'm very fond of Cuban cigars, and that's mostly what I smoke. Like 80% of times I would smoke Cuban cigars. So my 3 favorite brands of Cubans right now are definitely Ramona Jones, San Cristobal, and let me think of the third one. Like Trinidad is my Mount Rushmore, like it's number 1 always, so I have to kind of put it out of equation, because like nothing is ever getting near Trinidad for me. Cohibas are also there, but I don't smoke them too often. What will be the third one? I'm gonna have to think it through. Let me help myself with them. Oh yeah, by the way, I didn't tell you guys. You know that site Cigar Keep? So I created a profile there, which is basically it's basically a repository of your cigars. So you can put in either a stick or a box that you have, and then like you can see what other members have in their humidors. So it's like you know, a fun way to kind of just exchange experiences, see what others are smoking. So yeah, I created a profile there. I added my cigars, so you can find, the profile is obviously aficionado space. You can find me there, and you can see what I have in my humidor right now. So yeah, what do I have? Partagas, yeah, it's fine. Let's go with, so San Cristobal, Ramona Jones, San Cristobal, and then this year I would probably put Vegas Robina, because they surprised me quite a lot with their cigars. Obviously Famosos, which is their kind of Robusto, but it's a bit thinner than the regular Robusto. It's 48 ring gauge. It's their classic, and it's great. It's great considering the price point and considering the fact that it's their classic and you can always find it anywhere. It just holds value. It holds quality, and that's why I appreciate it a lot. But then I also tried their Unicos, which is torpedo shaped. It's basically the same vitola as Monte Cristo number 2, for example. And it's an amazing cigar. Like Vegas Robina, so underrated. They're not a big brand. They don't have a lot of variety, but they're so unappreciated even. Yeah, I'm blabbing too much, so it went out again. Other than that, I really like Diplomaticos. I don't have any Diplomaticos right now. I smoke it usually when I go to London to and then I usually visit Cavendish number 6, and they usually have them. Sometimes they have them if you're lucky. And Diplomaticos number 2 was the last one I smoked. If I could get a box of that, wow. Diplomaticos is just amazing. I smoked some regional editions that I had. I think I did a review in Italy last year of Diplomaticos. That was a great cigar. I think it was Exclusivo España. What are you saying, Michael? Any updates on the watch collection? Been waiting 5 months for a blue Datejust 41mm fluted Jubilee. Will be my first Rolex. Oh, that's a good one. Updates on my watch collection. So I don't know if you tuned in the beginning of the video, but I had to address something. So I'm selling my Omega Speedmaster, and I put up the Bon Mercier Riviera 39 for sale, which I'm probably not gonna sell, but I'm testing out the market. But I'm definitely selling the Omega Speedmaster, this one. Oh, no, it's this way. No, it's this way, sorry. I'm selling this one. Right now it's on the bracelet. Usually change it to a black rubber or burgundy leather strap that I have. Think it goes well with it. Right now it's on a bracelet, so I'm selling it because I'm thinking of upgrading to something else, another chronograph. Probably gonna go, I'm not gonna tell you, not yet, because still trying to figure out the financial construction around it. But for that to come to fruition, I need to sell Omega for sure. And then, yeah, like I said, I also put up the Bon Mercier on Chrono 24. So a lot of people actually approached me and said, "Hey, are you really selling your watches?" So I had to address that. That's why I'm considering selling this one, but I'm definitely selling Omega. Who gives a fuck? So I'm considering buying a Rolex Daytona two-tone in obviously steel and yellow gold with a white dial. I don't know, I like it. I think it's gonna suit me well. What do you think, Mike? Should I go for it? Should I go for Rolex Daytona two-tone yellow gold with a white dial? I mean, now is probably the best time to get one because the market has kind of calmed down. You definitely know it, so it's probably the best time to get one. They just 41 millimeter fluted Jubilee blue dial. That's a nice watch. I like the fluted bezel because it gives that shininess, and it's cool. I like a bit of a spark, a bit of a glossiness on a watch. So if I was to get a Datejust, I would definitely go for a fluted fluted bezel. but 41 millimeter is a bit too big on my wrist. Not because it's 41 millimeter, but because in lugs it's a bit more, it expands. It's a bit wider than, for example, other Rolexes like GMT Master 2 and Yachtmaster, or even Submariner, which is now in 41, but they have like this tapered lugs, so it doesn't stick out that much on the wrist. So, but with Datejust, it's just a bit wider, so it doesn't suit me well. I tried Datejust with my AD. I was actually considering heavily Datejust 36 millimeter of Wimbledon dial on Oyster, because I have my Rolex GMT Batman on Jubilee, so I want to get a different bracelet right now. But yeah, I was very close to trying to get that one, but I didn't. So now I'm considering that Rolex Daytona. So you're saying my AD reached out to me recently, so hoping for the call soon. Seems like availability is improving. Yes, go for the Daytona. Thank you. Thank you for the confirmation. And then, plus you have Batman, so your AD will prioritize you for a Daytona. Hopefully. To be honest, I don't know. Every time I went and asked for a Daytona, it was like, are you crazy? Like, it's at least 5 years. But like you said, the availability is definitely improving right now. The market has slowed down. We all know that. So hopefully I am able to get a call for Daytona sometime soon. If not, I would even consider getting the one on a great market, because price-wise, they are now cheaper than the retail. The retail, I think, is around 20 for that model, and on the gray market is around 16, 17, which could probably maybe go down even more, like if you're able to negotiate it. So yeah, I'll definitely consider it. But like I said, I need to figure out the financial construction around it. My AD told me new Rolex factory will be open in 2025. Production should double in the next 1 to 2 years. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed for that to happen. But yeah, what then that would mean is probably that it would probably mean that the gray market prices will go down, which is not a bad thing, obviously, right? We all want to be able to get Rolexes. So yeah, fingers crossed on that. Yeah, the whiskey is nice, actually. So I'm gonna get another round. Not too much. Still need to be able to watch the game later. So the whole thing about the presentation is great, but I hate the cap. It needs to be a cork. I am entering the final third of the cigar. As you could notice, I took off the bands. We've been running for what, hour and a half now? Cool. So I was able to go over an hour with it. Now, one thing I'm looking for in the final third is if it like goes completely nuts, or it just keeps that smoothness and the creaminess and elegance that it had so far. And so far, it's the latter. So far it's the same, which can be a good or a bad thing. Depends how you look at it. The good because yeah, it's not getting hot. The bad because if you're expecting new flavors, they're probably not going to be there anymore. There is that spiciness again, a little bit, just a little bit, which I'm not against at this point, because I need something to shake it up a little bit. It's all right. It's all right. My daily watch currently is Tag Heuer Formula One. Got a great deal on it from a local jewelry store. Well, I would assume that Tag Heuer's, that you could get a discount on Tag Heuer's on retail. Not sure how much you got the discount, what the percentage is, but yeah. Tag Heuer's are doing some good things lately. I'm sure you agree with it. They've been kind of in the hole for a lot of years lately, but it seems like they're kind of finding their way out of it. Let me look it up on the internet. So Tag Heuer Formula One. Ah. So it seems like they have like a lot of different colors. Is that the one? They have like yellow, red, and green one. Are those the ones? Which one do you have? Yeah, it seems like they have a cooperation with Red Bull. The blue bezel, the blue dial, with kind of red marks on the inside. Nice, looks nice. How big is it? It's probably over 40 millimeter, right? It's probably 42, 43. Has to be. The blue with the stainless steel bracelet. Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's the one. Nice. I believe that's the chronograph. Looks nice. 43 millimeter. Yeah. Yeah. For me, that would be too much. I don't know about the thickness, because the thickness plays a big role when you're wearing it, but 43 would probably be too big for my wrist. Seems like it went out again. Beautiful construction on the cigar. Nice cedar wood definitely, and then that spiciness is still present, but I like it. I like the combination of cedar wood and spiciness. Very nice. So this is probably gonna take me another 5 to 10 minutes. And then we're gonna part ways for today. But it was a very nice experience, and I'm glad that I was able to finally do a live session again. Not sure when I'm gonna be able to do it next time, but a good chat. A lot of topics that I wanted to cover. Most of them being sports. So if you either watch the stream or are going to watch it later on a replay, don't feel free to light a cigar and make yourself a drink and enjoy it together with me again. See now, since I lit it up again, now I'm getting that heat, which is unavoidable because with this much left and that small ring gauge, just has to happen. But that's all right. Quite enjoyed it all the way through. Very smooth cigar. Didn't expect this to take this long, but yeah, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad we did it. And the weather definitely improved. Finally seeing some sun. The weather has been terrible these days. It's like raining, like it was always between the rain and the sun. Like in a day you would get 3 times, like a big shower, and then the sun would come out, and then the rain again, and then the clouds, and then the sun, and then the rain again. So it's been very, very annoying kind of weather here in Croatia, but I think it's gonna stabilize over the next few days, and we are finally entering a nice summertime, which means only one thing. It means more time to smoke cigars outside, which is always the preference. Sorry. Yeah, you can't avoid the heat at this point. It is what it is. Which means that I'll probably get a few more puffs of it and then just late to rest and go out. So the final verdict that I need to give you, I don't know. As always, it's about experience for me. Experience has been enjoyable, especially with not only the cigar but with the pairing. Again, I paired it with Matsui single malt Japanese whiskey, which is somewhat specific because of the, again, the alcohol amount at 48%, but also it's a peated whiskey that you don't really notice when you're smoking a cigar because it gets, obviously it gets blended with the cigar, but the recommendation stands, so a good choice, definitely. As for the cigar, very smooth, very elegant. It's a timeless vitola. It's a panatella, it's a timeless vitola, and I would assume that those kind of vitolas are becoming trendy again, like Longsdales as well, Lanceros as well. So yeah, it's a good choice. Very smooth, very creamy to begin with, creamy all the way through. Nice smoke, great construction. Again, not too complex. We had some earthy notes, we had some wood notes, we had a bit of a sweetness and some floral notes even on the retrohale. And I'm going to rate it at 4.4. Let's put it at 4.4. Just because, you know, when you get to this point, it's difficult to smoke because of that heat, and because it's not too complex. But I'm saying that from the point of view, because I'm not an expert, but I'm an experienced cigar smoker. So for me, I always like a bit more like complex cigars with a full body, which this does not have, but still very enjoyable. So I'm gonna give it a 4.4 rating. Look at that beautiful smoke. Wow, it's really hot now. All right, so I'm gonna be ending the stream now. Sorry for the technical difficulties and everything else, but I hope you still was able to enjoy it, and yeah, keep watching the channel, what can I say. And I'll try to do another one in about 2 weeks when I'm on holiday on the coast. Thanks for tuning in. Bye guys.